Take an unexpected journey back into America's past in Columbiana, Alabama. Columbiana was established in 1837 in Shelby County, Alabama, and is now home to the second largest collection of George and Martha Washington articles, surpassed only by those of Mount Vernon. The Karl C. Harrison Museum of George Washington is located in the Mildred B. Harrison Regional Library in the heart of Columbiana. It can be found behind the beautifully visible Shelby County Courthouse.
Good afternoon. Welcome to the Karl Harrison Museum of George Washington. If I might tell you briefly how we got our collection. The sixth generation granddaughter of Martha Washington lived in Chelsea. In 1982, she decided to move out of state and sell the things she'd inherited. They sent representatives down from Mount Vernon. They purchased about 2/3 of what she had, which was mostly furniture, and we got the rest. Then in 1989, the last descendant of Augustine Washington died. They auctioned her things off, and that's when we got the balance of our collection. Now, if you'd like to follow me, we'll start the tour here. This is our dining area. Can you imagine having a meal at a table like this? Isn't this wonderful? All of these things were in the Augustine Washington estate. The porcelain is Minton. It's English bone china. We have 207 pieces total. The silver is coin silver. Now, the musket here, we know was made in Great Britain, but we don't know if it was brought over during the Revolution or if it had already been here during the French and Indian War. We do have a history on the powder horn. It was made and used by a Timothy Flower. He was one of the Green Mountain Boys, and he used it in the Battle of Vernon. This is our bedroom. All the furniture in this room was in the Augustine Washington estate. All of these pieces are handmade in America between 1810 and 1840. The bed is a half-tester. by George's great-granddaughter. George loved music and he loved dancing. So here on the other side of the case is the portrait of Eliza Park Custis. She was Martha's oldest granddaughter. The miniature around her neck seems to be of George. We have a letter that she had written and asked him for a miniature, and he sent this to her, and it looks very much like him. So I imagine that's it. This concludes our tour. Thank you so much for coming. Do tell your friends about us. Thank you. Bye.
The Karl C. Harrison Museum of George Washington is a treasure that you must experience in person. See sentimental items, such as Martha's personal prayer book that she held dear to her heart, as well as tracings of handwritten letters from George to Martha that few have ever seen. Not only is the museum home to George and Martha memorabilia, it also houses several other historical items. The beauty and craftsmanship of 18th and 19th century furniture is evidenced by a number of carefully preserved pieces. There are also artifacts belonging to the Robert E. Lee family, such as a portion of the flag that flew over his headquarters at Appomattox, and a rare photo taken by Matthew Brady of Robert E. Lee in his uniform. All of these items will allow you and your family to take a historical peek into the life of the father of our country, George Washington, and his family. It is well I die hard, but I am not afraid to go. These last words of George Washington marked the end of a chapter in American history that lives in Columbiana, Alabama today. Come spend some time here and let your imagination take you back to the beginning of this great country we call America.
This museum belongs in Columbiana much more naturally than it would in Washington, Atlanta, or Birmingham, because Columbiana is quiet. This is in the same atmosphere in which George and Martha lived. After the war, I doubt if they ever heard a noise louder than a blacksmith hammering on his anvil or something. And Columbiana is quiet. You can get the atmosphere. That's what I'm bringing you to. Columbiana has the atmosphere of a small town, and you can come nearer feeling what this means in a small town you can a bustling city. But I saw an opportunity was to keep them here, and we strained the point to keep them, and we have them. We said if the Lord brought them here, we wouldn't let them get away, and we didn't, and they're here.